Now it's time for Cartoon Planet Storybook. Today's story is called Albert the Clown, and it was written by Andy, age 29. Wonder who that could be. There was once this funny clown, and his name was Albert. Sometimes people tried to be cute and pronounce his name in French, which was Albert. People did this so much that Albert started believing he was a bear. He moved to the forest of the northwestern United States to live on nuts and berries. Soon, Albert became a tall, hairy man with long hair and fingernails and bare feet. Because he was an ex-clown, he had big, huge feet. Today, Albert the Clown is better known as Bigfoot. So the next time you're camping in the Great Northwest, remember to raise a big hey diddly-o to Albert.
Now it's time for the Cartoon Planet Storybook. Today's story is called Bunny Monster. It was written by Lucretia Aloysius Borneo. Cynthia is our babysitter. She's pretty and nice, but she scares the baby. This is how she looks to the baby. One time she brought over a bunny puppet to play with and keep baby happy. But baby must have thought it was going to eat him or something. This is how the bunny puppet looked to the baby. I guess when you're that small, you think that everything is trying to eat you. The end.
That story scared the pants off me. Guess I better put my pants back on.
Here's a story by Ann Susan, last name withheld. It's called My Dad. My friends call my dad Mr. Jackson. He's very important. Every morning when I go to school, my dad puts on a lawsuit and goes to the office. Sometimes if he has a meeting, he'll put on his power tie. It gives him special powers. It gives him the power to say, "Hey, come here a minute. Hey, Zorak, come here a minute."
Go powder your cheeks.
Now it's time once again for the Cartoon Planet Storybook. Today's story is called Close But No Cigar. It was written by Ms. Tiberious Monk.
She's a zombie.
No, she is not. Coco is a beautiful flower. Lawrence the caterpillar took to asking her out. She took to saying yes. They were quite taken with each other. A charming bee named Lily served them tea. Lily made Lawrence nervous. He was allergic to bees. "Bring me the check," he snorted. Coco thought Lawrence was being rude to Lily. "Kel jerk," she said, and stormed out. Lawrence wanted to cry, but didn't. The end. Now it's time once again for the Cartoon Planet Storybook. Today's story is called Easy Rider. It was written by Summer Sorbutt.
Sorbet.
Whatever. And it goes something like this. My parents were hippies. These are my parents now with my little brother. He's big for his age. Going to be a ball player. This is me when I was a baby. Now I'm too big to be picked up. People don't know if I'm a boy or a girl. My mom and dad say that's okay. Like I said, they used to be hippies. The end. Here's another story from the Cartoon Planet Storybook. It's called Hey, Goat, and it was written by SHILO Gray.
"I'm missing a shoe,"
announced the princess.
"Have any of you guys seen my shoe?" "No,"
said the cat. "Nope, no sir. Nope, 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 no, nope," said the bunny. "No, ma'am. I'm sorry to say that I haven't seen your shoe," said the very polite bear. The princess looked around.
"Hey, goat, what is that in your mouth?" "Oh, nothing."
replied the goat.
Oh, it's something, all right. Timmy, spit it out.
This is really weird.
It's gum.
The goat explained.
My last piece.
You shouldn't be chewing gum.
It's not gum. Oops, I swallowed it.
You know, it stays in your belly for 7 years.
The goat thought long and hard about this. If gum stayed in your belly for 7 years, how long would a shoe stay there? The end. Now it's time for the Cartoon Planet Storybook. Today's story is called Lead Bunny. It was written by Courtney. I am a ballerina. I am 6 years old. These are my shoes. Last week, I got to be in a recital. My class did the bunny dance. And guess what? I got to be the lead bunny. Madam Helga, my teacher, taught me how to hop out on stage. All the bunnies hopped right behind me. We had big ears and fuzzy tails. On the night of the recital, my mom put lipstick and rouge on all the bunnies, even the boys. It was funny.
Oh, that's so funny. What did you say?
When we went to do the dance, I started hopping before the music. I was the only bunny on stage. Madam Helga was yelling and waving her arms. All the other bunnies hopped out on stage to get away from Madam Helga.
Madam Helga. Ruff, ruff, ruff.
After the recital, my mom and dad gave me a trophy with a ballerina on it. But they won't let me go back to Madam Helga's class. The end. What a sappy little story that was.
Do you think Madam Helga is available?
Available? For what?
Oh, you know, a little of this, a little of that.
Oh, yeah, right. I'm guessing that Madam Helga just sits by the phone, hoping and praying that a conniving little green insect will give her a jingle.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too. Here's another story from the Cartoon Planet Storybook. It's called Little Helping Hands. It was written by KRICKETT and Khaki. They're best friends.
Isn't that just too cute?
Isn't it just? Well, here we go. Many people don't know this, but roaches are our friends. They come out when it's dark to help us. They're awfully tiny, so there's not much they can do. But they water the plants when you're out and center the soap on the soap dish. And when they run at you, they're just coming over for a little kiss. Roaches are our friends. So the next time you see one, tell them thanks for taking care of things while you were asleep. The end.
And now it's time for the Cartoon Planet Storybook. Today's story is entitled My Brother Matt, and it was sent to us by Kaili. I have a big brother named Matt. He's very strange. My mom says strange is not a nice way to describe Matt. She prefers special. Matt used to run around the house shouting, "Ging, ging!" We used to think that Matt was pretending to be a train because sometimes he would say, "Ging, ging, toot, toot." One Christmas, Matt was chasing me around the house with his infernal ging-ginging when my Wonder Woman flannel nightie caught on the Christmas tree and pulled it over. Tinsel and balls went a-flying. Our cat Patches, who we now call Smokey, got tangled up in the electrical wires. Matt is 32 years old now, unmarried, and lives in Los Angeles. He still ging-gings a lot, but nobody out there seems to notice. The end. Now it's time for the Cartoon Planet Storybook. Today's story is called Skinny Fell in a Hole. It was written by Max Bone Jr. One day, Skinny was walking down the street, not paying attention to where he was going, when he fell in a hole. He fell and fell and fell. Boom! He hit bottom. A funny-looking creature walked up to Skinny. "Where am I?" Skinny asked.
Why, you're in the center of the earth, where the potato people live,
the creature replied. How do I get out of here?
You just got here. What's your hurry?
If I don't get home in time for dinner, I'll be in big trouble, Skinny answered. The potato person suggested that Skinny go fall in another hole that was about 3 blocks away. So that's just what he did. Skinny fell and fell until he came out in Australia. He hopped on a boat that took him to where he lived. Where have you been? Skinny's mom asked. He told her the whole story about the hole and the potato person and Australia and the boat. Well, be more careful next time, dear. Now let's wash our hands and eat like good little piggy wiggies. The end. Now it's time once again for the Cartoon Planet Storybook. Here's a short story called Skunky the Fur Trapper. It was written by Andy, age 29. Is that right? He's a big boy. Okay, let's see what the 29-year-old writes. Once upon a time, before the revolution, there was a fur trapper named Skunky who wandered the frontier with his pachyderm, Puddly.
I skins 'em and trades 'em, oh, Puddly?
Skunky would say. Puddly would reply. One day, Skunky decided he didn't want to be a fur trapper anymore. Which meant, that's fine by me, said Puddly. And that's how Skunky the Fur Trapper became General George Washington. The end. Now it's time once again for the Cartoon Planet Storybook. Here's a story called The Squishy Monster. It was written by Little Jefferson Clay. Oh, he's one of my favorites. There's a monster who lives in my closet. I hear him making squishy sounds every night. I always thought that one day he would leave the closet and eat me. My dad told me to ignore the squishy monster and he would go away. He was right. The squishy monster went away and came back with a few of his friends. I'm not afraid of the monster anymore, but I wish he would stop making those squishy sounds. The end.
Here's another story from the Cartoon Planet Storybook. It's called Taking Candy, and it was written by Jefferson Clay. He's a softball player. When Jeffrey was little, he used to love to go to the grocery store with his mom. One time, when Jeffrey walked past the candy counter, he took some candy and put it in his pocket. Then when he got home, Jeffrey's mom told him to get ready for his bath. As she was getting his clothes ready for the laundry, she found the stolen candy in Jeffrey's pants pocket. "Where did you get this?" she asked. "I bought it," Jeffrey lied. "Bought it with what? You don't have any money." "All right, I stole it," the boy admitted. His mom dragged him back to the grocery store. The store manager held Jeffrey upside down and shook him to see if he had swiped any other merchandise. It was very embarrassing. Jeffrey hasn't stolen anything since. Yet. The end.
Now it's time for the Cartoon Planet Storybook. Today's story is called Texas Bob, and it was written by Herman Smellville. Once upon a time, there was a cowboy named Texas Bob. Texas Bob lived in St. Louis, Missouri, where the big arch is. Texas Bob had lived in St. Louis all his life, and in fact, he had never been anywhere but St. Louis, Missouri. People would stop Texas Bob on the street and say, "Hey, Texas Bob, how come you're not called St. Louis Bob?" And Bob would answer, "Tarnation, there's a snake in my boot," or "Jumpin' Jehoshaphat, I just fell in a cactus, dag-nabbit." Texas Bob worked in a shoe factory. He lived with his dog, Texas Ernie. Every day there was a new adventure. It's like that in St. Louis, Missouri. The end. That's just a little slice of life.
As we know it.
On Cartoon Planet. Yeehaw, buddy.
Now it's time once again for the Cartoon Planet Storybook. Today's story is called Texas Bob's Vacation. It was written by Herman Smellville. Once there was a cowboy named Texas Bob who worked in a shoe factory. He lived with his dog, Texas Ernie, in St. Louis, Missouri, where the big arch is. One day, Texas Bob decided it was time to take a vacation. "Let's go to Florida," he said. Texas Ernie reminded him that there were alligators in Florida. "How about Yellowstone Park?" Texas Bob suggested. "No, there are bears there," Ernie pointed out. Texas Ernie suggested that they go to New York City and see the Big Apple. But Bob said that he had been there once and a fat lady had made fun of him. So Texas Bob decided to spend his vacation in St. Louis, Missouri. He and Ernie saw a Cardinals game and ate a big, juicy steak. Then Texas Bob went back to the factory. The end. And now it's time for the Cartoon Planet Storybook. Today's story is called Timmy Doesn't Have a Nose, and it's written by Cradge Mackerfraller, age unknown. Zorak, you read this one.
Okay. Ahem. Timmy doesn't have a nose. Timmy goes to the plastic surgeon. Timmy picks his nose.
Ew, that's disgusting.
No, I meant Timmy chooses his nose from a chart that the doctor shows him.
Oh.
You see?
Oh, yes.
Now, can I get back to the story?
Yes, Zorak. Do go on.
Yes, Zorak, do go on, buddy.
Thank you so much.
Don't mention it.
Yeah, don't mention it, buddy.
Brack, quit repeating what I say.
Quit repeating what you say.
Yes, quit repeat. Shut up.
All I was doing was just
No,
trying
you
to...
don't know what you were doing.
But I don't think you know what...
Save it. Zorak, go on.
Anyway, Timmy chooses his nose. Timmy gets his nose operation. Timmy is given the wrong nose. Timmy sues the doctor for malpractice. Timmy wins a lot of money from the case, moves into a bigger house, but still has to live with the big, ugly nose. The end. Now, that's my kind of story.
It would be.
Yeah, it would be, buddy.
Shut up!
Why does everybody always be so mean? You don't know. You don't.
Now it's time for the Cartoon Planet Storybook. Today's story is called What Goes Around Comes Around. It was written by Minnie. Haha. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Pete who lived in Winona, Minnesota. When Pete was in 3rd grade, there was a big bully in his class named Jack. Every day at recess, Jack would call Pete names. Then he would hit Pete on the head until Pete cried. Time passed and Pete grew up, got married, and had a wonderful family and a very nice job as a television producer. Jack grew up to be a big, ugly slob with a mean little boss who hit him on the head every day. It just goes to show you there's not much future in being a bully. The end. Now it's time for the Cartoon Planet Storybook. Today's story is called What Does My Second Cousin Do? It was written by Jeffrey Clay. Oh, he's very good. What does my second cousin do? Is he a farmer? No, he doesn't have a cow. Is he a clown? No, he doesn't have big floppy shoes. Is he a policeman?
I'm innocent.
No, he doesn't have a gun or like donuts. Is he a cowboy? I don't think so. He can't ride a horse. Could my second cousin be a baseball player? No, he doesn't have a bat or a glove, and he isn't a millionaire. Maybe he's a lawyer. Nah, he's not that smart. Come to think of it, My second cousin really doesn't know how to do much of anything. Maybe he should be a talk show host. The end. Now it's time for the Cartoon Planet Storybook. Today's story is called My Teddy Bear is Missing, and it was written by Margaret Miller. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Margaret. One day, she came home from school and went right up to her room. Her room was very clean, and her bed was made perfectly. Something was wrong. What could it be? Oh, no, she cried out. My teddy bear is missing! Where is my teddy bear? She looked under the bed, but all she saw was her cat, Pete. She looked in her closet, which was full of old toys and other stuffed animals, but no teddy bear.
Oh, man, where could the teddy bear be? Space Ghost!
Then Margaret went...
Incidentally, I want to tell the people out there viewing this right now, I don't cry all that much! Why do I sound like I'm crying now? I'm not! Oh, man, where could the teddy bear be, Space Ghost? Not a tear!
Then Margaret went downstairs. There was her teddy bear in her favorite chair, watching cartoons. You go up to my room and get right back on my bed, Margaret ordered. The teddy bear turned off the TV and walked up the stairs to Margaret's room. He climbed up on her bed and stayed there until Margaret was a very old lady. The end. Now, wasn't that a nice story?
I was on the edge of my prison pod.
I like the part, I liked all of it, except for the part, well, how do you like that? I liked all of it.